Welcome to My Health, My Way, a podcast dedicated to empowering and supporting women living with endometriosis, adenomyosis, and infertility. We are your hosts. I'm Alana, Marketing Business Manager, and Sarah, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. We are here to bring you stories and insights from a holistic perspective. Our aim is to foster a sense of community to help you navigate the challenges and triumphs that come with these conditions. Get ready to embark on a holistic adventure with us. Welcome to My Health, My Way, where health meets functional wisdom.
Welcome to another episode of the My Health, My Way podcast. Today, we are joined by Lisa Tyers, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and smile specialist. With over 20 years of experience in the dental field, Lisa bridges the gap between oral health and whole body wellness. Through her work, she helps people uncover the root causes of fatigue, stress, and health struggles, while also empowering them to feel confident in their smiles. Lisa's passion is guiding others towards lasting vitality inside and out. Welcome, Lisa. I'm so great you're here today.
Thank you for having me. This is perfect.
I'd love to start by asking, what got you into the world of functional nutrition?
Well, it started with my personal story of just struggling for years with my cycle and not really getting any answers and just hitting wall after wall after wall of not really knowing what route to take. And, oh, let's go try going on birth control, and let's go try, this diet and this workout, and let's see if we can get the body to kind of work the whole way together. And it just never really clicked. And as soon as I had a diagnosis of the adenomyosis and, pretty much telling me you could either go back on birth control or you can have an ablation and call it a day, I'm like, that's not okay. There has to be something else out there. And this all happened as the world was shutting down. So my surgery was postponed indefinitely, and I was just told, deal with it. We'll get back to you when we reopen. Wow. So I kind of found a new route and worked on gut health and cleaning out, the home and the endocrine disruptors and things like that. And slowly but surely, it started to get better. So that's kind of what made me take the deeper dive. When I noticed that things were getting better, that's when I was like, okay, this is the route that I need to go.
And how long did it take you to get diagnosed? Was it quite a while, quite a few years?
It took me about a year after I had gone to different doctors, and we had just tracked my cycle for a while. Took a diary of pretty much every single time I would have it show up. Okay, is the cycle lasting 24 days? Okay, this one lasted 23 days, but then the flow would be anywhere from 5 days to 10 days to I can't get off and out of the bathroom and I'm stuck in there for 2 days. This is when it's like, okay, something had to be done. So after going through it and documenting it for about a year, that's when my doctor gave me the official diagnosis and said, here is your options. And then that was that.
Was there the heavy bleeding sort of like your main symptoms, or what were the other symptoms that you were experiencing?
The heavy bleeding was the biggest symptom of all of them, but I would say cystic acne was another really, really big one. I still struggle with some of it because I have gut work to do and mineral balancing to take care of. But the cystic acne was horrific. I would have injections in my face to make them go away. Wow. And it was like a cycle. It was whatever my cycle was coming up. I knew it. If I didn't catch these things right away, I'd end up with scarring and all sorts of issues. So the acne and the heavy cramping, and I would actually run fevers too. I would be pretty sick.
Wow.
So yeah. And it started I was in 8th grade when I got my first cycle. So from then on, and my mom was the same way and her mom was the same way. And it was just like, oh, I guess this is just what we are. And it wasn't.
No. What have
Yeah.
you, I guess, figured out, I guess, through your journey and then discovering functional health? I mean, we say this a lot, right? Like my mom had it and her mom had it, so it must just be, genetic and I have to deal with it and there's not much I can do about it. So what are your thoughts around that?
I think it's environmental. I
Mm,
think, it runs in families,
mm,
but the habits are what runs in families. So if you are using lots of fragrance, lots of things that are changing your hormones, if you're exposed to a lot of toxins. We had a house that my dad was in law enforcement for 40 years and reloaded ammunition in the house. So there's heavy metals, and
yeah.
we also deal with MTHFR.
Mm,
So
mm,
there's so many family factors and habits, and yes, genetics that all played a role in this. And I feel like I'm finally like hitting that bridge of we need to change that cycle.
yeah.
And it's been a long journey, that's
Mm.
for sure.
I guess too, what we often find is when we run either mineral testing or we're looking at the gut microbiomes, and I say this to my clients a lot as well. It's like we can't give from an empty bucket. So oftentimes we find that we're passing on these profiles to our children. And so if, our bucket's empty and we're not holding certain minerals, well, there's only so much we can get from that bucket. And if we're holding on to certain toxins, then we are also going to pass them on. And if we don't, whatever microbiome we have, if our microbiome is already really, really depleted, well, we're not going to be passing on, a good profile there either. So it's like these things kind of just continue. And then we
Yeah,
already have this kind of weak link that we are carrying around unknowingly while we're little. And then we're going to add all of those things that, our mother was like having in the environment. And all of a sudden we think it's just genetics when yeah, genetics play a role, but they're not the sole reason why someone ends up with the same condition.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm definitely seeing as well. And when did you find FDN, functional diagnostic nutrition?
I found FDN summer of 2023.
Hmm.
I had taken another program and it was close, but it
Yeah.
wasn't exactly what I wanted. I wanted to dive deeper. I wanted to find more of like, not necessarily a root cause for things, but to find a way I am very data driven. I
Mm.
love diagnostic tools,
Mm.
and I like to see like, okay, if we have this problem, we can help with this, and this to fix it.
Yeah.
Um, so I found it in the summer from the summer open house in 2023. I signed up right away. And then I finished in August of 24.
Mm. And when
Yeah,
you ran those tests, what did you find for yourself? Was it really eye-opening?
it was. I had been dealing with a lot of other issues as well.
Mm.
And it kind of finally put the pieces to the puzzle together and helped me understand why certain things would happen. Not only was I dealing with, heavy cycles and all the other things, the cystic acne,
Mm.
constantly having to fight my face. Um, I was also dealing with allergies that were coming out of nowhere. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize that I felt like an allergy, but it really wasn't because
Mm.
it was something that I would try a food or I would try something and it wouldn't happen all the time.
Mm.
So it happened in college where, you think you're doing good for yourself by going and getting that, fun fruit smoothie.
Mm.
And it was filled with spinach and like strawberries and banana. And you think you're doing good, but those are all high histamine releasing foods. And
Mm.
I had a very bad reaction to them.
Wow.
And it led me down another journey of allergy testing and everything else. And the allergist is like, no, this is not an allergy. And sure enough, I just kind of said, okay, I'll just stay away from it and keep a Claritin on hand. And lo and behold, when we do that mucosal barrier test, I found out my histamine load was through the roof
Yeah.
and my DAO was non-existent.
Wow. Yeah. So nothing to break down all that histamine. It's just keeps on accumulating. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. And then how did you go about that? Like what did you find, like, whether it was lifestyle nutrition or some of the functional strategy, what was the biggest game changer for you really?
The biggest changer for me, I would think, was when I started to connect more of the dots.
Mm.
When we did the MRT, the food and chemical sensitivity test, wheat came up, and I'm like, I can have bread with no problem, but I didn't realize that other symptoms I was having was actually a problem, because it's so far removed from what you think about when you say someone has a gluten intolerance or a gluten allergy. You think they're having these horrible, horrific things happening to them when they are, glutened or whichever you want to call it. But mine is more of like a non-reactive, where I get little tiny breakouts all along my lymph chain and all along my chest area here. And it's like tiny. You wouldn't even realize what's happening. It's like, okay, I know I ate too much or I overloaded on it a little bit, because I'll have these tiny little breakouts here and there. And then having issues with constipation. I'm like, okay, I didn't really think about it being that terrible, but yes, I guess it really is a problem. So once I started to do that elimination and take things out, and then slowly say, hey, let's go ahead and give this a try. And then I have a slow reaction to it. It's like, okay, we need to take that out. That has to stay out. Or we have to be mindful of what we're doing on a daily basis.
So it's really about that elimination of, certain food.
That was huge for me.
Yeah.
And it helped a lot with the gut too, because a lot of the things that came up on that MRT were dairy. And dairy, I knew, was an issue with, it would make my face break out, but I didn't realize how much damage it was causing to my gut lining. And then in turn, we had the histamine issue. Your hormones are housed in your gut. And then that cycled down to my cycle being completely out of whack. So
before we jump back into the second half of our show, I would like to share how you can work with Sarah. As a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, Sarah takes a holistic root cause approach to your well-being. Say goodbye to merely treating symptoms and hello to uncovering the root causes of your health challenges. Sarah utilizes cutting-edge functional testing to get to the heart of the matter and design a personalized plan just for you. Just remember, she's only a click away. You can connect with her on Instagram under NutriRoot_health for valuable insights, health tips, and a peek into the world of functional diagnostic nutrition. If you're more of an email person, drop her a message directly at sarah@nutriRootHealth.com.au. That information will be in the show notes.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to work with me, your dedicated health detective.
Now let's dive back into the second half of our podcast. Stay tuned for more intriguing conversations.
And did you find that once you got a handle on that, changing your diet and figuring out your triggers, really downgrading that inflammation, that your cycles got better as a result?
It did. It found different ways to bring down inflammation, not necessarily just diet-wise, but some supplementation as well. Cleared out the liver toxins and things like that, because my pathways were just so jammed. So once I, took those things out, settled my system, my cycles started to slowly get better.
That's amazing.
It took time, but it got there.
Yeah. I feel like the liver detox pathway piece is huge for a lot of women. Not for every woman, and I guess, that's where we're all different, and we're all coming, to the table with different dysfunctions. Sometimes, or oftentimes, there is that liver dysfunction where, the estrogens don't get cleared via the protective pathways, and they go down the inflammatory pathways. And things are just kind of like pooling down there. But I even see, sometimes that's obviously not the issue, and, other things are playing into it. But I find that is oftentimes the case. It's like that dysbiosis, the gut issues are there, the liver's starting to get real overburdened by what's present, and then constantly having to filter through that. Yeah, I find that a lot. It's a huge piece for a lot of women with endo and adenomyosis as well.
Yes, I've seen that a lot, because it's similar, but it's different. Because you have endo and it's going everywhere, but adeno is like, it's staying inside, but it's not fully flushing out. And then you get that, like, for me, I would be like, oh, maybe I'm okay, I'm having a great cycle this time around. But then ask me a month or cycle later, and it's like the floodgates have opened. It was just awful. So everybody's experience was different, because I have a girlfriend who was diagnosed, and she had to have surgery because she was just such a wreck. It was literally taking over her entire life, where you go down different paths and things like that. But for me, it was just like, once I figured out all the inflammation and putting the puzzle pieces together, it really helped to kind of get those symptoms to subside and kind of level out. And now I'm 42 and basically perimenopause, and it's still pretty even keel now that I've balanced a lot of different things out.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I guess that's a good place to be, especially when we hit that time of perimenopause where things are going on this roller coaster. We definitely don't want to hit that, phase completely unbalanced, because that's going to hurt. Yeah, even more. And then we talk a little bit about, I guess, we know adenomyosis is that tissue that is growing inside that muscle layer of the uterus. I guess some women believe that, well, since it is localized to the uterus, we can just take the uterus out and we'll be healed. We can call ourselves healed from adenomyosis. That is a cure. However, I guess with what we know in the functional health space and how the body works, why can we not truly call that a cure? Just taking out the uterus.
I don't feel like it is really a cure. I think it's just a band-aid. And I feel like that's what women are just given lately, is just how can we quickly stop whatever is happening? And it kind of goes with all forms of medicine, but you're given this pretty hard thing to deal with. And okay, now we're going to take this out. But now your body needs to learn how to regulate its hormones and things without this whole organ in here. And it doesn't know what to do now.
Yeah.
So now you're giving it a totally different pathway. And then you're going to come up with all these other slew of symptoms. So it's just trading one for the other. It's like, we have to figure out why this particular part of you is not happy and not getting that blueprint of telling it what it needs to do.
I also find that a lot of times we're not obviously talking to women who experience, adenomyosis. They don't just experience the heavy bleeding or the painful periods. They generally have other symptoms. So there's generally, the gut issues or the skin issues or the fatigue or, the brain fog or the migraines or whatever else it is. Now, taking out the uterus ain't going to fix that. Those symptoms are still going to be there. Maybe they will subside for a little while. I find sometimes women say, no, all my symptoms kind of disappeared. But if you talk to them later down the track, whether it's, 4 years, 5 years, or 10 years, they will tell you, well, everything's come back, 10 times worse than ever before. And I have spoken to those women that, I really, really regret having a hysterectomy, because in the long run, it didn't actually solve anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, I guess when we're looking at how the body actually works and what generally precedes, tissue growth in the first place, we've got to look at what is playing into the contributing factors that got us into that state in the first place. And
Exactly.
that's really where the change happens, not taking out that uterus, which I agree is a band-aid.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back, what do you wish you had known earlier about adenomyosis and women's health in general?
Wow. I wish I would have known that certain symptoms I was having were, just because they're labeled common doesn't mean that they're normal. And I really wish that that whole phrase, just, oh, it happens to, oh, it's common. Oh, it's just a thing. It's not just a thing. You have to learn to listen to your body. It's trying to tell you something, especially when you're dealing with hormonal issues and it comes out on your skin. And because those were my two biggest things, was the heavy periods and my cystic acne. And my acne was all around my mouth, all around my jawline. That is, your face is a roadmap. It's trying to tell you which system is giving you the symptoms, what is happening. And my dermatologist never put two and two together. I was always having injections here.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that whole area is hormone imbalance.
Yeah.
So I'm having the heavy periods. I'm having the acne in that area of my face. Those two big things are trying to say that there is something wrong. It's, you have to learn to listen to what your body is trying to tell you. And I wish that just because, oh yeah, acne here, oh yeah, heavy periods here, oh, it's common. Yeah. It's not normal though.
Yeah. I find that fascinating too. I mean, not that I am, too experienced in the whole, acne, wherever it is in your face and what it means, but I have, seen that, yeah, your face basically tells the story of, what's kind of, essentially blocked in your body, where things aren't flowing and your body can't really detoxify it or come out in your skin at certain places. So I find that fascinating. So yeah, if it was just here for you, that is definitely such a telltale sign. Then yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, it was around my jawline and my mouth,
Mm.
or it would be like around my temporal area, and that's liver detoxification. So
Yeah.
your pathway here is jammed, your hormones are having issues, and then you're having issues down in the other areas, and it's literally the roadmap. It's trying to tell you something is wrong.
Yeah. I mean, one of the first things we learn is, right, your skin is another detox pathway. And if internally detox pathways are a little congested, it's got to come out some way. And then too, if there's constipation on top of everything,
Yeah,
even if it's, mild, I mean, any type of constipation is a problem. Like if we're not
right.
going to the toilet every single day, we have a problem. And I would say that I meet a lot of women that are fundamentally so dehydrated, not realizing it. But yes, dehydration is huge. Definitely. I see that a
Yeah.
lot. But it's brushed off more easily, I find, and that's where a lot of band-aids generally get thrown at women. Oh, that's all right. You can just take a laxative and you'll be fine. Like,
Yeah, it helps you go, but it doesn't help the problem of why you're stuck.
It's true. I always like to explain, what does a laxative do? It kind of like draws the fluids down into your bowel so you can have a bowel movement, right? It
Yeah,
really helps you get those fluids going, and it's forcing that bowel movement in that sense. So we already know what the actual root issue is the colon isn't hydrated enough.
right.
And that's, a lot of times where that dehydration comes in, and then how do we actually hydrate? Yeah, water is one thing, but generally that's where minerals are missing. And so
Yes.
I see a lot of low potassium, a lot of low sodium, all those kind of, minerals that truly
I had
hydrate your
I
colon.
had recently done an HTMA on myself, um, and my potassium was not
So
the
no good.
best.
Yeah,
It wasn't. But I have very high magnesium and
interesting.
my copper is very low. So these different ratios of it
Mhm.
telling you like one needs another one. It's the checks and balances system. Just when you go back to that histamine and that DAO, it's that checks and balances
Yes,
system. It has to fire somehow. And if it's not going to be able to fire correctly, it's going to pull from somewhere. It's going to pull from
yes,
your hormones. It's going to pull from your thyroid. It's going to
yeah,
go, if you're low in calcium, I've seen it in pregnant women from the dental industry, you're going to lose it in your teeth. Like
yeah,
it's going to pull from somewhere to keep itself alive.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's a whole homeostasis piece where the body innately wants to be in balance, right? And for it to stay there and for it to still, keep going, it's going, yeah, exactly. It's going to pull from somewhere. And
Right.
that's its check and balances. Exactly right. That's what it does. Yeah. I mean, the body is amazing. It's so innately intelligent. We just have to take the time to listen and try and understand. I think all we do is try to silence it. I always like to use the example of that fire alarm that we just keep turning off. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's an alarm. Yeah, just turn it off. That works.
It's just that snooze button. You just keep hitting it over and over and
Yeah.
over again. It's like,
Or the
someday you're going to break that alarm clock and it's not going to come back at you. So you
yeah.
have to kind of figure that one out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. One more question. What message would you give women who are newly diagnosed or suspect that they may have adenomyosis but feel dismissed?
Find someone who will listen.
Mm,
Take all of the notes and don't just focus on just your cycle. Focus on, you have to look for all of the signs and symptoms because I spent years at the dermatologist and having crummy cycles and all these other things that were going on. I had weight gain that would not budge,
mm,
and it was to a point where I was over here for this problem, over here for that problem. We're going to go to the OB for this one, and it's like your whole body is one thing. So
yeah,
why are we going at these things and just kind of grabbing at different things to try and see if we can get an answer
yeah.
when we have to put that puzzle pieces together and listen to the whole thing?
Mm. Yeah, I always like to say to women, it's like we go and see all these specialists and everyone just looks at us in parts. Nobody looks at us as whole. And
Yeah.
this is why we end up going around in circles forever, because none of these specialists are truly connecting the dots. And I always find the more specialized someone is, the less they connect the dots for someone, because they're just so specialized in one area. And whilst I agree, when we're having surgery, I definitely want someone that is very specialized. Yes. So they're very needed. But unfortunately, this is what we say that, emergency treatment, that is sometimes definitely needed. But then if we want to move away from that and from the, the symptoms and the suffering and the going around circles, we actually have to move away from that model that just wants to look at us in parts and remove organs.
Well, and I really, that's another reason why I got drawn to taking FDN, was because you're that detective. You're that one who's looking at that whole picture, and you have, yes, you're doing a lot of different testing, but it's literally putting it all together. And I spent way too long piecing the puzzle with this specialist and this specialist over here, that if I were to go back and do it all from 20 years ago, I would have said, okay, we need to just put it all down on paper and walk and say, these are my issues, all of them. Yeah. Let's try to map this out. What's connected to what? Because the whole body, it's connected, and we can't just rely on one person to fix the whole thing. We got to kind of look at the big picture.
Yeah, I actually think a good suggestion always is, find your team. You don't just have to find that one specialist. Yeah, if you find a great specialist, hold on to that one, and then go and find your team around that. Okay, who will help you? Yes, if you want to have surgery, have the surgery, but find someone that will then afterwards help you with, really with all the inflammation and all of the other contributing factors, so that we can, not have all the tissue go back. Because that's essentially going to happen if we're not changing anything. If we're not changing anything, then nothing changes. I feel like finding that team rather than just that one person is oftentimes key in truly getting a hold of all of the symptoms.
Yeah, and I really do feel like that healing was not just one specific practitioner or doctor at all either, because you still do need that team. I mean, for me, it took central nervous balancing, and we're going to go to the chiropractor and we're going to realign things. And then we're going to work with someone who knows how to cook really well. Like, I had so many, I call it the toolbox. Yeah. You've got all these tools in the toolbox, and you can't always just rely on just the one tool. You got to have, you're in the kitchen, you got lots of things to cook with. Well, think of that for yourself too. You gotta work and bake yourself. So find all the pieces to that puzzle and work it all together. Because you're not going to do it all with just one place.
Exactly. I love that. I think that is so, so great. And I agree. I personally definitely used, the chiropractor, the acupuncture was great. Yes. Obviously, the nutritional lifestyle, I did, Pilates and really that whole movement. And so there was just lots of different pieces that helped me kind of find balance. It wasn't just the one thing. I think often we try to find the one thing or the one supplement, right? We can't find that one supplement, and that one supplement is going to change our life. Yeah, I don't think so. It's generally, a combination of things. It has to be right for the individual to truly help the body back to balance. And that's what I'm finding, definitely. Amazing. Thank you so much for today. This was great. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed the enlightening discussions and insights. If you're ready to take charge of your health journey and unravel the mysteries of endometriosis, adenomyosis, and infertility, don't forget to connect with Sarah on Instagram at nutriroot_health, or shoot her an email at sarah@nutriroot.health.com.au. That will be in the show notes as well.
Remember, your health is an ongoing journey, and I'm your detective, ready to help you crack the case. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes, and until the next time, take care of yourselves.